All right, we've all got all the water onto the property, and it's at 1.3, which could be just somebody running water in the building, or just a faucet running, a toilet running, or something. We may not start walking units, but it's down to 1.3. We turned it on individually to each building, and each building when we ran it, it zeroed out in the ground, like it was down to 0.0 gallons. So there's no leak underground. Which is why we got no water coming up, but it's down to 1.3 gallons a minute, and that's even if it's running at all. You know, it has stopped a couple of times. See, it's at 0.0 right now, and then back up to 1.3. I think we're going to need to start walking units, see if we can figure out if somebody's got like an over. See, it's down to 0.0. It's not running at all right now. We did just turn the water back on to each building, so everybody's, you know, filling toilets and all that, but it's down to 0.0, no leak. There it is, another cycle running through 0.0. So we added some valves and we cut out some old ones. I wonder if some of those old valves were letting water slide by. But it's down to 0.0. It's no water running right now. That's the third cycle it's been through. Still at 0.0. We cut out some bad looking valves. And put new full port brass ball valves on there. So it's down to 0.0. That's 2 minutes that we've gone through. If it was leaking, like an active leak, it would never go to 0 because it would be constantly leaking out somewhere. That's the fourth cycle. It is right about 1 o'clock. So a lot of people aren't home, but there shouldn't be that many people here running water, but it's down to 0.0. Like I said, if there's an active leak, it would never be 0. It could go down lower, you know, when people weren't running water, but it's never going to go to 0 because something would be leaking. That's the fifth cycle. No, I keep losing it because I'm blocking the sun. Hold on, let me wake it back up. Still hasn't moved. Still hasn't moved. 4470 of the last 4 numbers, and it has been that way for 5 or 6 cycles now. 0.0 gallons per minute running through that line. So it is completely locked out is what we call it. That's when the line's fully pressurized and no water's moving. Yeah, I know, I'm blocking the light. All right, so now there's a little bit moving now. But that could just be, like I said, somebody turned the faucet on, somebody run some water, and it's back down to 0.0. So whatever they did there for a second, they quit doing it, wash their hands, whatever. It may have just been those old valves. Like I said, we cut them out and replaced them. And now they got brand new isolation valves for each building. So each building has its own shutoff valve where we can shut it off independently if there ever is a problem. So that's a twofold part that works out good for us, that we got new valves on there. We got the leak stopped, and we got, like I said, we got valves. If you ever do have a problem out here with one building, we can shut off one building without shutting off the whole property now. We can shut them off individually. But yeah, it's 0.0. I've been out here. This video has been running for almost 4.5 minutes. And it only moved a couple of ticks there. So like I said, somebody could have flushed the toilet, that actually wasn't enough to even, it didn't move enough to even be a toilet being flushed. It moved enough like somebody turned the faucet on for a second and then turned it back off. I'm going to send you this video over, and you can send this to the water company as well. But yeah, like I said, it would never be 0. If there was a leak, it would never be 0. It could be 1, could be 5, could be whatever, but it would never be 0. All right, well, the property's water's back on. Everybody's got water. Each building, the laundry room, everything has water. These 5 buildings up this side. And I don't have any water running through the line. No leaks, no water usage or leaks happening right now. Yep. I'm going to leave it running a couple more minutes. I know this is boring, but I just want to make sure that I can't see a pattern of water usage, like every couple of minutes something kicks on and runs for a minute. But so far, we seem to have got it when we cut those old valves out. I was worried because from 505 to the next building up, they're still got galvanized steel piping in the ground, and I was worried that was where the leak was going to be, and it's underneath that back parking lot. But like I said, when we turned them back on individually, that one didn't have a problem. And see, now it's moving a little bit now, but that could be somebody running water. If it's 1.3 gallons or whatever, 2.6, that's 2 faucets that are on, or a toilet that got flushed. Yeah, that just seems to be a toilet filling up. Let's see if it stops again. Take about a minute for that toilet to fill up. Now somebody else could be running water. And see, now it's back down to just the toilet. So somebody turned the faucet on while the toilet was filling up. And now it's sitting still again. See, the toilet's done filling up, or maybe, yep, see, toilet's done filling up. Now it's back to 0. Now somebody's turned. Yeah, because people are home. We've knocked and asked them not to run water, and they said okay, but not everybody answered the door. But it sat there for almost 5 minutes with no water being run at all. Just somebody, again, flushing the toilet. And we had everybody's water off, so, you know, if they used the bathroom, their toilets were going to be needed to be flushed when they got home, so. Okay, 4541 is the number now. Then back to 0.0. I think that's normal water usage, if you ask me. So there we are, 4541. A couple people flushed toilets. They're done flushing them now. Now they're running a little bit more. Just turn on the faucet for a second. Probably wash their hands after you use the toilet. Now somebody else flushed the toilet. See, that's all normal water usage. That doesn't look out of normal for me. Now, like I said, when we turned them on, just so you know, I'm being clear. Each building we turned on individually, waited for it, stood out here by the meter, waited for it to go to 0.0. Nobody's using water and all that. And then we shut that building off and then moved to the next one and turned it on. So we checked each individual building for leaks and could not find any. But we did cut all the water off to this section of the property, go in, cut everything loose, and install new valves before we tested anything. So like I said, we could have fixed it when we changed the valves. Yeah, somebody's running the faucet or washing dishes. 1.2 gallons a minute or 1.3 you got there is about what comes out of a faucet. And 2.6 just happens to be 2 faucets. So for a property this size or this many buildings, that's not unacceptable. That's normal water usage. If the water bills continue to be high, after we've done all this, we're going to need to walk each unit individually and see if we can find faucets that are dripping, water that's running, toilets that won't, quit filling up. But yeah, that's normal usage for a property of, especially 40, 50 units. Or, 30, whatever it is. It's 8 units per building, and that's 4 or 5 buildings. So yeah, it's about 40 people. Like I said, the next option is to walk the units and see if there's any issues. And either I can do that, or you can have maintenance do it ahead of me, and then kind of tell me if they find something that needs to be fixed, or we can walk them individually. I don't care who does the walking. Yeah, and if somebody's turned their dishwasher on or something like that too, got to keep that in mind. That'll fill up. But we found no active leaks. So I don't know if any people are in there running water. People maybe want to take showers too now because we've had their water off all day. So that could start picking it up too. If with the prolonged usage, you'll be a shower or something like that, or filling up a bathtub. But like I said, it would never have gone back to zero in the first, 6-7 minutes of the video. We're at zero. And they keep turning on the little things here and there. Yeah, the only way to find a leak that small, like I said, this inside the building is going to be to walk the units. So we're going to pack up for today. Like I said, keep an eye on it and make sure, the next water bill is lower. And if it is still up, we'll come back and walk units, or we can walk units either way. It doesn't matter to me, but I'll send this video over.